and welcome to an episode of Shut Up, I'm going to teach you something. Today we're going to make homemade bread with my wife, Peggy.
Okay, first ingredients are 2½ cups of boiling water, 2 tablespoons of dry instant yeast, 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and 3 cups of all-purpose flour. So the way that you start this is you take your 2½ cups of water, you put it into your KitchenAid, and you take 2 tablespoons of yeast, and you put it in there, and you just leave it for 10 minutes. The key to leaving it there for 10 minutes is the yeast. If you look inside of here, the yeast will start to foam. So in about 10 minutes, this is all going to be foamed up at the top. And at that point, then you add the rest of your ingredients. So we'll come back in about 10 minutes, look at the foam, and add our rest of our ingredients.
While you're waiting, you can see all of the food that we've been canning up. We got apples. We've got, what is that up there? Salsa. We got apples, candy apple jam, tomato sauce, more apples. Just, you know, and a whole lot of macaroni and cheese. We can survive anything Obama wants to dish out. So we're still cooking over here, waiting for it to foam up. It's coming.
Okay, we've returned. You can notice that the foam is formed on our water with the yeast. And now we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. So we have 1 tablespoon of salt. Put that in there. It's going to take about, I don't usually measure, but it's usually about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil.
Children, we're in production.
And you take 3 cups of flour.
Now that's a good cup mixing thing you got there, it looks like. That's fancy.
Okay. Now we're going to lower our dough hook down into the mixture. Secure it into place. And we're going to put it on number 2 and allow it to start mixing. And as it starts to mix, you'll see the dough coming away from the wall of the bowl. You may need to add just a little bit of extra flour in there to help it not stick to the bowl, and you'll get a nice firm ball of dough in the bottom of the mixer. So we'll let that just go ahead and mix away. We'll keep checking on it to make sure that the dough starts separating from the wall. And you'll notice it's already starting to do that.
Notice. Oh yeah. The KitchenAids rock. You gotta get you one.
Okay, you see that the dough is still sticking to the side pretty good. So we're going to add just a little bit more flour around the walls. And allow it to start mixing it some more, and you'll see it start to pull up off the sides there. Now you see that we've added our little bit of extra flour in there to help separating it from the wall, and you'll start to see it stick to the hook a little bit, but it'll be grabbing it from the sides. And you'll need to let it do that for probably a good 5 minutes. Let it stir and mix, and it'll come away from the wall really well. If it's still sticky like this on the walls, just add a little bit of flour in there so it's not so sticky. I'm going to add some more to mine.
Now remember, always use the best ingredients when making your bread, because you're going through all this crap. You might as well have some good bread in the end.
Okay, you can see that the dough is almost ready. It's almost all come from the sides. You're going to take it down a notch. Allow it to just slowly start to come to a rest. And then you just flip it off. You're going to want to get a little bit of dough on your, or a little bit of flour on your hands so it doesn't get too sticky on your hands. So just take a little bit of flour and rub it on your hands. You'll lift your KitchenAid up and you'll see it sticking to the hook a little bit. And probably before you do this, what you should do is take your Pam or spray and take and spray a regular bowl. And you'll spray the bowl really good so it doesn't stick in the bowl. You'll take your dough from your hook and it'll be inside your KitchenAid bowl. Take a little bit of flour and just toss it on the top so it doesn't stick to you. And you're going to take it out of your KitchenAid bowl. So once you get it out of the bowl here, it takes a little bit because you got to kind of work it out. You should have one big dough ball. And that dough ball is going to go into the refrigerator for about 2 hours. And after about 2 hours, you're going to have your dough ball. You're going to just plop it down in your bowl. You're going to flatten it out. You're going to take it and you're going to cover it with some saran wrap and you're going to stick it in the refrigerator and allow it to sit in the refrigerator for 2 hours. And it should double in size. And that lets the yeast rises up and it'll double in size. And we got one over here that we can show you. So here's the one that we did earlier. And it's doubled in size. And you're going to open it up. And you're going to take your hand and you're going to punch it down as hard as you can. Good way to get rid of some frustration. You're going to roll it up. And then take a knife, depending on the size of the bread that you want. I'm going to make 2 little loaf breads. So I'm going to spray my bowl, my pans. And then I'm going to take a knife.
Children, we are on air.
I'm going to take a little knife and I'm going to cut it in half. Well, this is not a very good knife. So I have 2 separate balls now. And you're going to stick it down in your pan and flatten it out. And then take your knife and you're going to make a slice right down the center and that'll make a nice little slice in the oven and it'll split for you. And you'll take your other ball and do the same thing. You want to preheat your oven to 350, which we've already done, and these are ready to go in the oven now. And it'll take about 35, maybe 40 minutes for these to bake up, and then we'll return and show you what they look like.
All right, let me get it.
There you go.
You are making a video here, darling. Alrighty, see you in a bit.
Okay, time to check the bread. Ooh, nice and golden brown. You can take your knife, you can go down the center, and you don't get any dough back on you. That's when you know it's done. I like to take some butter and just take it and rub it across the top. And it just makes it nice and buttery when you take it out and ready to eat. Alright, you ready to try some of this?
Yeah, bring it on. We'll let a third party do it, so you'll know.
Alright, Austin, you want to be the taste tester?
Yes. Yes.
You want some bread?
Yes.
Alright, here we go. It's nice and piping hot. We're going to take a nice little taste test. Some people like to let theirs cool. A nice crusty crust on it. It's hot.
Flip that son bitch over. Flip it out. There you go. Big old lunk of bread. All right.
Good.
Are you sure? Alrighty, we got bread.
Was it as good as yesterday?
Mm-hmm.